All right, guys, we are in the midst of some crazy PR games right now coming from Blake Lively's side. So I became aware a couple of weeks ago that somebody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post, sending them these HR complaints saying these were real and these were ignored, all painting Justin Baldoni to be a monster, okay? Interestingly enough, all of these publications, which are known to just like publish whatever, they publish things about me that are completely untrue, they don't care about defamation or anything like that, all declined to publish this. Main reasons being that these complaints coming in were heavily redacted, and yet when they reached out to the person that was shopping them and was like, hey, like we have some basic questions about this, like why are you blacking out the dates? Why are you blacking out the complainants? They got a little iffy on the details, and they didn't want to take the risk for potentially being sued for defamation without being able to legitimately confirm that these were real complaints. Now, if you're a PR agent and you are desperately trying to get out these complaints for your clients, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, to help change the environment of everybody who's calling them out on their BS, what do you do next? You can't get any of the big guys to publish it. So you start leaking to TikTokers, independent journalists, because you view these people to be stupid, right? So you're like, okay, they'll absorb the risk. They'll definitely publish this if they think that they have an exclusive. And essentially that's what's happened. They started shopping this around to independent journalists. And I'm now going to show you the complaints that they've been shopping around.
Complaint number 2. The complainant states she became uncomfortable with Justin Baldoni. Yesterday, while filming, she states Mr. Baldoni put his bare hands on her butt and said he was trying to help with her posture. The complainant immediately voiced her displeasure with being touched on an intimate part of her body, and Mr. Baldoni responded with, "It's fine. I'm totally not for my wife," in a dismissive tone. The complainant relayed to Mr. Baldoni that he did not have permission to touch her inappropriately. Mr. Baldoni then responded, "Oh, no better goes to char," to which the complainant replied, "I will." Approximately 3 hours later, Baldoni approached the complainant and stated he was sorry they got off on the wrong foot. The complainant stated she replied, "You got off all right, but it had nothing to do with your feet," and walked away from Baldoni. Complainant's agent provided text messages from complainant, including one sent approximately 18 minutes after the incident, wherein complainant said, "Justin Baldoni just literally grabbed my ass in front of the cameras. I want to talk to someone at Sony like now." As Candace was saying, here is what the document says. The text on the document reads, "Complainant is clearly traumatized in her verbal account of incident. Director Justin Baldoni had an orgasm on camera. She asks why this is necessary to know since a climax is not scripted in the scene." Baldoni then leans close to complainant's face and whispered, "I think we should go ahead and add it in. Show us what you got." Complainant did not feel she had the authority to object. Complainant said she did not want to do the scene, but she couldn't say no and filming. By refusing, complainant began improving the scene, making what she perceived to be necessary adjustments. Baldoni grabbed her face and said, "I need you to be more vulnerable," but then broke down in tears and said she was so close to complainants that she could feel his breath, causing her face to mist up. Baldoni then closed his eyes for several moments and stated, "I'm allowed to say this," said, "You know how hot this is, right?" Then Baldoni asked complainant to practice the scene again. This time Baldoni positioned himself only inches from complainant, and complainant stated she needed a restroom break. Baldoni kept his hands on her outer thighs, virtually pinning her in place. After an approximately 10-minute break, she relayed complainant's story to the intimacy coordinator. Complainant was then waved back on set, and complainant stated she was so close to her for so long, his breath on her face necessitated her makeup needing to be redone. Candace explained that perhaps redacting the names and dates was a strategy, as it would have flagged the public as odd if all complaints came in on the same date and from the same person regarding Justin Baldoni. It would have looked like what the public has already perceived, an orchestrated, inorganic, targeted attack against Justin Baldoni, which happened due to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds aggressively lobbying other cast members. But there's something else that's even more glaringly wrong with these alleged heavily redacted complaints, something which is likely an even bigger reason that TMZ, Daily Mail, and New York Post declined to publish. All of these heavily redacted complaints were sent to Sony, not Wayfair.
By the New York Times, you've got Wayfarer, you have Jamie Heath, you've got Justin Baldoni, Steve Sarowitz, even Jennifer Abel, Jed Wallace down in Texas, but nope, no Sony, which is so weird. And here is her actual federal lawsuit where she conveniently dropped off Jed altogether, but they've got the agency group, Melissa Nathan, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz. It ends with Us Movie LLC, Wayfarer Studios, and once again, no Sony. So what does this tell us? Well, first and foremost, that they still believe the public is stupid, that moms on the internet are stupid, that we don't understand these legal games and these PR games, and we keep proving that to be wrong time and time again. But let's just keep going with this strategy, Blake's PR team. They don't think we can see that it's utterly unreasonable to suggest that Sony ignored. You said Sony on May 29th, all of us just got raped. We all got raped, and we filed this with Sony, and Sony just didn't do anything about it. But we decided not to sue Sony. We decided to instead go after Justin Baldoni in a CRD complaint and then later a lawsuit. But we decided to leave Sony out of it conveniently, even though they would have been the ones that were holding all of these complaints. And nobody wants to publish it, so we're now turning to independent journalists and making them think that they have a scoop. Yeah, something stinks to the high heaven here, and I think we're going to see more tomorrow, obviously, when she is due to file her amendment.
There is also movement on the discovery objections by Baldoni, with Team Lively submitting their own letter to the judge claiming that the subpoena objection should be denied in its entirety. The document discusses a retaliatory campaign against an individual for raising concerns about misconduct on the set of a film. It mentions the need for records on when and how defendants and witnesses learned about harassment allegations against Ms. Lively and the efforts by the Wayfarer parties to discredit her through media and social media. The Wayfarer parties are accused of misrepresenting the scope of subpoenas, suggesting they seek privileged communications like spousal, medical, and attorney-client, which is contested as false. The document asserts that the subpoenas seek only call, text, and data logs, which are not privileged. Legal precedents are cited to argue that the requested information is not protected by attorney-client privilege or medical privacy. The document challenges the Wayfarer parties' claims of privacy for third parties, arguing that they lack proprietary interest in non-parties' communication. The document questions the validity of privacy concerns over phone numbers dialed, referencing various legal cases to support the argument that such information does not warrant privacy protection. So, we are waiting for updates on all of these. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.